we have a campus location, you ask? And the answer is yes. And so this is where we want to share with you a God-sized vision that will change the direction of our church forever. And so if you are not ready for it, you might want to wake up or smack your neighbor, whatever you have to do. But the area that we feel that God is calling us to plant our next campus in August of 2024 is at Northeastern Middle School. Now you look at that and you're like, a middle school? That's not a church. And the answer is, you're right. It's not a church. However, it's something that we want to introduce to you that you might not be familiar with called Portable Church. What Portable Church is it is a church where you rent the facility that you meet in, you set up and you tear down on a weekly basis, and you do that to utilize a larger facility in the interim while you wait and able to get your own facility, right? It allows you, just like renting a home would be, to have a home that you're utilizing until you can afford to buy your own home. That's basically what Portable Church is. It's a great option so far as a growing church is concerned to be able to get their foot in the door of a particular area and reach people without having to spend the dollar amount to do so. And so here's the pros and cons list of Portable Church. This is Portable Church as a whole, not just at Northeastern Middle School. The cons are, it is a rented space. And so we don't own it. We couldn't make permanent changes to it without getting in trouble and Pastor Dustin potentially going to jail, which we don't want to happen. We would require a lot of work of setup and tear down. Now, I will tell you, the church that I came from before being here was portable all 8 years that I was there. And they were portable 4 years before that. And on a scale of 1 to ridiculously hard, setup and tear down at Northeastern Middle School is at like a 1. It's very easy. And you can talk with me more about what that entails and all that kind of stuff later if you want to. But it takes a little bit of work. Other facilities are necessary. We need office spaces, which they won't let us have in the school, obviously. But we have 661, where our offices are currently. You need a place for your printer. You need a place for all that stuff to happen. And so we have those facilities, which is a downside for a Portable Church usually. And it is a temporary solution. It is a temporary solution. However, it is a years-long temporary solution rather than a months-long one. The positives to it, however, it is extremely cost-effective, fraction of the cost-effective to adding on to a building or building new. It's very invite-friendly. Like I said, the church that I came from was in a school, and whenever I would ask my unchurched friends, hey, you want to come to church with me? They would say, hey, where's your church at? And I would say, oh, it meets at the local high school. And it was like, oh, I went to that high school. Where do you guys meet? Well, we meet in the cafeteria. Yeah, I ate lunch there. I know right how to get there when I walk in the doors. How many people can say they can walk into a strange church and know exactly where to go? Not very many, but it provides this comfortability with being invited to somewhere that you're familiar with already. Also, it has high community visibility. You're in a church, there's signs and evidence of that. People knowing that you're there creates a community involvement and a saturation in that area. And it is a low-risk growth option. Like we said before, just like renting a home before you buy it, it's a lower risk growth option. And so why Northeastern Middle School compared to anywhere else? We did a lot of research on this kind of stuff. We looked at all kinds of areas. We have a realtor that's working with us to find properties that are available for sale as well. So we've run down lots of different roads, and we feel like God is opening the door here. And Northeastern Middle School, the auditorium in particular, is the least used room in the whole entire school district, which means that it would be available for us to use. It is also very favorable in their paperwork and rental agreements. Many of the other schools or places we looked at, their rental agreement was basically saying, yeah, we'll rent it to you, but we're going to nickel and dime you. You have to rent every chair. You have to rent using the bathrooms. You have to rent the parking spaces outside. And you're looking at this like, do you really want us to be here? And the answer was, no, they really don't. However, Northeastern Middle Schools is very favorable to outside organizations renting their facility, churches like us. It's extremely fertile soil within a 5-mile radius. Now, within a 5-mile, a 2 zip code area of Northeastern Middle School, there's about 15,000 people represented there. And we have lots of data and metrics and things. If you want to know more about that, we'd love to share it with you. I'm going to show you a video here in just a second. But we also feel like God is opening a door here. We've prayed extensively about this, and we feel like God has laid it on our heart to move in this direction. And as he keeps opening doors, we keep stepping through them. When he shuts it, we will go a different direction. But it seems like he is pointing us in this direction One of those things that I want to share with you is that in Portable Church World, which I have lots of experience in, the number one person in the school district you want to be on your side is the janitor. It's the janitor. They can make your life miserable, or they can make it very easy for you. And so the janitor at Northeastern Middle School, his name is Mr. John, he has asked us, when are you guys coming? I want to get paid to come to church. And I'm excited about it. And so those are the kind of things that as we look at the doors that God's opening, we say, we're continuing to go this direction, and God continues to just reaffirm in our hearts that this is where he wants us to go. So we're going to keep going that way. And so the video that I want to show you that I didn't even know, this past week, Mr. Dale kind of snuck me into the school to take pictures and videos, and I ran a drone up over the top of Northeastern Middle School. I want to show you a 360-degree view above Northeastern Middle School, and I think you will be astounded at the number of homes and developments within a visual of Northeastern Middle School. How many of these homes represent families, represent people that are in an area that do not have a church like ours, that do not have biblical teaching, engaging worship, and great kids ministry within a close distance of their church. And all of these homes represent potential neighbors to Thrive Church that will be impacted by the gospel of what Jesus is doing here. And some of you, I know, you look at that and you're like, hey, that's my house right there. And you can say, oh, I'm over there. We just passed my house. And so the reason that that's important is, as we talk about saturating an area, the reason we did the map in the lobby was to show where our people already are at and how they can reach the neighbors where they currently live. And so we looked at the soil that's ready for a church like ours. We looked at the potential area around the school that's ready for a church like ours. And we look at Northeastern Middle School and we're like, wow, this place is ready for a church like ours. And so we want to tell you that a passage that has spoken to us over and over again is Matthew 9:35-38, and I'm going to read it for you, and the highlighted portions are my emphasis. It says, when he saw them, that's Jesus, he had compassion for them because they were harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore, pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest. As we look at the Northeastern School District surrounding the middle school, we feel like this is an area like sheep without a shepherd that need to hear the gospel message of Jesus Christ. And so we're praying earnestly that God would send workers into that harvest field to labor and work for his harvest. Not our harvest, not your harvest, for his harvest, for his glory.